Buddy, it's Sara Mullins, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my story, and I hope you enjoy. I was born on July 27th, 1993 in Corpus Christi, Texas. Before I was born, my mom learned of some possible complications. In fact, they thought it was going to be so severe, one of my doctors even suggested an abortion. Of course, that wasn't even an option because my parents were Christians. They were going to go through the birth regardless. Some of the complications included I would die before my first birthday. I would be a vegetable and live in a vegetative state my whole life. And they also thought that I might be born blind or deaf or even both. They also figured out I probably wouldn't be coming naturally because my head was enlarged, and they discovered that I had water on my brain, hydrocephalus. So they decided on a C-section, and that would be best. They were definitely in for a surprise of their lives. So I came on July 27th in 93. My head was enlarged, yeah, but I was breathing and crying, and all we can say is only God. They diagnosed me with hydrocephalus, which I said is basically water on the brain. They put a tube in my head, my skull to, drain it, and I was in the hospital probably for about 3 months. I was also diagnosed with scoliosis, which is a curvature of the spine, and strabismus, which means my eyes were crossed and I didn't look straight. I improved every day. My first birthday came around and I was still alive. Only God, I proved the doctors wrong. Again. I didn't really develop like other children did. I learned to walk when I was only 2. My mom actually showed me a picture she took of me doing my first steps. I grew older, I really shined, and I proved all the doctors wrong, and I was really the right thing. When I was 5, I accepted Jesus as my savior, and then I was baptized when I was 8. And I grew up in church my whole life, and so that was really important. And I was a happy child for the most part. I loved hanging out with my family and my friends, but deep down, my self-esteem was really weighing me down. I just want to share another quick story with you. It happened probably about 10 or 11 years ago. We had just moved into our house, and I remember some mornings I would find blood on my pillow and, not really sure why or where it came from. Since I had my own room, nobody could really monitor me at night. And so one night my aunt and uncle actually came over and they ended up spending the night. All I remember really from that night was being transported to the hospital in an ambulance. And it was really scary. And I woke up and they were putting an IV in my arm and I was crying and I was like, I'm scared, That would be a scary situation for somebody who just woke up from a seizure. I don't wish that on anybody. Apparently, I was making weird noises in the middle of the night, and what happened, and my sister tried to wake me up, and I wasn't responding. I was unresponsive. Apparently, I was having grand mal seizures while I slept, and so my sister kind of freaked out, and she was scared, but I really think it was all God that had my uncle and aunt there at that time because of the circumstances in it. If it hadn't happened that way, like it did, we would never have known about it. And we finally figured out what was really going on. And then when I got to the hospital, they found out I had another seizure at the hospital. And then I came home a few days later and it happened again. But this time my mom tried something different. She actually pushed play on my CD player, and Stephen Curtis Chapman was playing, and I instantly woke up, and I haven't had another one since. So that was another God thing, and Stephen Curtis Chapman obviously has had a major impact on my life. If you ever heard of him and heard of his music, and if you even haven't, I would recommend you go listen to his music because His music is really powerful. Of course, I'm a little biased, but 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with anxiety and major depression. I started feeling like I couldn't do anything right. I was too small. People would think I was a whole lot younger than I actually was. Still to this day, sometimes I get asked if I want a kid's menu at a restaurant, and at those points, I got to the point where I didn't even want to live anymore. I just wanted to end it all, and it was a really scary time for me. And I ended up talking to a psychologist at a hospital at Scottish Rite, and they recommended I see a therapist regularly. And they recommended one, and I loved her, but I was still feeling depressed. I felt awful sometimes after I left because we kept coming back to the subject of depression and how depressed I was. She wasn't bad, but maybe she was just the wrong therapist for me. I finally switched, and I liked the new one better, so it worked out really well. So my turnaround actually happened on August 22nd, 2011. I was just in my room listening to music, and I heard God's voice. It was so clear, and he told me, he said, "Sarah, you're meant to be." I didn't want to hear it at first, because I was just like, yeah, whatever. But he wanted me to listen to the words to Stephen Chris Chapman's song, "Meant to Be." And that really encouraged me to continue. Because I asked God, I said, what's my purpose? And he said, well, he quoted the song, "You were meant to be here, making this world so much more than it would be without you in it." Okay, what is the meaning of my life? It's a meaningful life you've been given, so live it well. God used that song to make me realize that he does have a purpose and a plan for my life, and I can continue to grow and live. Like I said, Stephen Chris Chapman has been a part of my story even before I was born. He helped my mom get through the pregnancy with me. His strength is perfect. That was a big one for her. I'm thankful that God can use even a singer to speak truth into my life, and for that I'm really thankful. And Stephen Chris Chapman, if you ever watch this, I just want to say thank you so much, because without that song, I would not be here. And I really appreciate you and all that you do. Anyway, so it got better. And do I still have suicidal thoughts? Yes, but I have figured out a way to cope. When I do have those thoughts, I just turn on that song and just remember that, Satan doesn't have a hold of me, and God does, and he can take care of me. I didn't get to graduate like everyone else, because that's kind of what made me depressed really in the first place. I didn't get to graduate. I didn't drive till I was 18, but I ended up getting my GED and graduating high school. And then I went to college, and it took me 6 years to get my associates, but only God orchestrated that, because I wanted to quit. I really wanted to quit and, give up. But you know what? I kept going. I had people encouraging me to get going, and I did it. And just the milestone I have in my life, that graduating college, is amazing. I thought I would never get married. That's another one that I thought would never happen. But God brought an amazing man in my life, and so Xander is amazing, and that's my husband's name. And he's really helped me even in my battles with depression and anxiety, and for that I'm thankful. I've overcome so much in my life. Will my anxiety and depression ever go away? Probably not, but I just continue to take it one day at a time, because I am meant to be. So I really hope this has encouraged you. It's kind of short, but I just kind of wanted to take some time out of your day and share with you my story. So thank you guys, and God bless.
You were meant to be touching